Welcome to the midweek edition of the King Mo Show. Today, I'm wearing a red shirt so we can talk about apples. Apples are incredible. However, if you look for apples that look like this shirt, Red Delicious, you're missing out on so much. Growing up, I ate apples, really didn't think much of it. Then one day I was at a meeting at work and they handed out like bagged lunches and there was a Red Delicious apple and I bit into it and it was mushy and mealy, and I just like, I can't eat this. It was, to me, it was just disgusting. And so then I started to look around at apples, and this was a while back, and I discovered an apple called the American Cameo. And it was more expensive than the other apples, but it was amazing. And it was only available in a little portion of the season. In the fall time, when apples are ripe. And that kind of changed things for me, because at that point, I was like, I am not going to eat another Red Delicious. I'm not going to eat an apple that's not great. So that started me on my quest for apples. And there are so many different types. It's amazing. When you go to the grocery store, look at the different types of apples. This is a little clip from my local store. Okay, so you see all those different types of apples that we have there. And when I go to the store, I'm looking to see if there's any new flavors of Oreos, new flavors of Pop-Tarts, apples. I look at the apple section to see what's there. So in general, there are some varieties that have been around for a long time. And I was like doing some research on this. I think I found like 65 different types of apples. And apples had a very generic name for a long time. There was a Fuji, which was created in actually it was created a long time ago, but I think in 1960 is whenever it hit the market. It was created in Japan. And there's all these other heritage brands of apples out there. But the one that kind of changed everything was the Honey Crisp. The Honey Crisp was really crisp and it was sweet and juicy, and it just hit the market, and it costs a lot more than all the other apples. But the Honey Crisp, they patented their name so that you couldn't just like go and get one. You couldn't propagate them and stuff. So they kind of started creating a whole bunch of fashion apples, and it just kind of exploded from that point. So that there's Snapdragons, there's the Cosmic Crisp, which is like the Honey Crisp, only it's built for a little bit longer storage. I just can't even think of all the different apples. And I've imparted this upon my kids. One time when we were traveling, and my son maybe would have been about 5 years old, someone asked him if he wanted an apple, and he asked, "Is it a jazz apple?" And they looked at him like, "What?" So yes, this little kid knows to ask for specific types of apples because of the different types in them. So I have a couple in front of me. Fuji, relatively easy to find, crisp, sweet, great apple for eating. This is this is a Cameo apple that I picked up at my local orchard, Stevens Bakery and Orchard. This is the one that started the craze, the Honey Crisp. This is that new and improved, longer storage Cosmic Crisp, which I think is actually juicier than the other one. But you can find these apples, and there's an apple for your palate. If you like sweet apples, there are sweet apples. If you like them tart, there are tart apples. So I encourage you, the next time you go to the grocery store, take a look at what are those apples there and give them a try. And don't just look for that solid red apple. Look at the variations in colors on these things. They're all over the place. But pick up that apple, and it should feel firm, And what I'll say is like maybe a little bit heavy for its size, maybe, but it just be firm. If it doesn't feel firm, and I'm not talking about like trying to squeeze it, but just pick it up, grab it. Does it feel firm? It's probably going to be good. It's going to be crisp. And if you're in the northern climates, check around. There is probably an orchard near you where you could go get fresh picked apples. Apples that were picked within the last week or two, as opposed to ones that have been stored for a long period of time. If you live in the South, I think you're out of luck, but you can get your oranges down there and other citrusy type fruits. So go out, get an apple. Oh yeah, like it, share it, all that type of stuff. Thanks.